Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum everyone. Today we are here for lecture number 23 for English Comprehension and Composition. From this lecture onwards we are beginning with our message composition section of this course. And the first component in a message composition section is writing a memo. I hope you must have heard the name of memo before. Even if you have not, we are going to explore everything about it in today's lecture. Today's objectives are, we're going to talk about what a memo is, kinds of a memo, and how to write an effective memo. And in the end we are going to review and refresh all the information that we have talked about. We are also going to look at some example memos, some internal communication correspondence in the form of memos in all four types of memos that we'll talk about. So let's move on and start off with what a memo is, so that in the end, by the end of this lecture and the next one, you're able to write good communicative memos by yourself. Now in this document we are going to talk about how to write a memo, and this memo is this document is inclusive of all the information regarding memos. So even if you have not heard anything about a memo, that's not a problem. That's what we're going to discuss here. So these are the components, main components of this document. When you write a memo in industry or for a class assignment, it is important to have your audience and purpose clearly defined, because this will help you determine what information to include. Now before starting off, you should know why you are writing a memo and for whom you are writing it. If you are writing it for your boss, the kind of language, the kind of tone you have to use is specific. And then if you are writing it for a class assignment, you're supposed to be very careful. There shouldn't be any grammatical errors, what your teacher expects from you, what is the requirement of the question regarding the memo. So these are the things that you have to be very careful about. Your audience and purpose is supposed to be clearly defined. Only then you will be able to determine what information you're supposed to add in a memo. This document consists of these parts. Generally memos follow a particular format, although your instructor or company may require you to use alternative formats. Now your teacher can ask you to use a specific format. I will be teaching you how a memo is written and what is the specific or general format all memos follow. So that's like letter writing. Just like in letter writing, you have a format and you have to follow that, and there are many different formats, but in memo we have one particular format that is followed throughout all kinds of memos. So this is what the document contains. Its definition of a memo, what a memo is, that's what we're going to discuss here. Purpose of a memo, why we write memos, what are the reasons we have to create such a correspondence internally throughout the offices, through our companies, through any office background. Why do we have to do that? What is the purpose of writing memos? And then audience analysis, general format, and common types of memos. This is what this document contains. It's almost inclusive of all the information that a memo can hold for you as a student. So let's talk about definition of a memo. A memo is a document typically used for communication within a company. Now memo is internal correspondence, internal communication. A memo is not written from one company to the other. For that we use emails or formal letters or business letters. Memos are written for internal correspondence. For example, a company is running 3 of their offices in one building or in separate venues in one city. So they will be sending memos to each other for internal correspondence. One department wants to communicate a particular fact or information to another department, and that internal correspondence is what we use memos for. Memos can be as formal as business letter and used to present a report. Memos can be formal and very informal as well. We'll be looking at all various kinds. Formal memos are usually to present information, to give a directive, to persuade about something, and the language is very formal. They are like business letters, and sometimes memos are used to present a report, and such memos are slightly longer than the usual, but mostly memos are very short, and they are short correspondence. बहुत छोटे छोटे letters के form में होते हैं ये, लेकिन letter का format इनका नहीं होता. Be very careful about that. We'll be discussing their format soon. However, the heading and overall tone make a memo different from a business letter. They are not letters. They are different from business letters. They are headings, and the tone that we follow, the language that we use, that makes it totally different from a business letter. Because you generally send memos to co-workers and colleagues, you do not have to include a formal salutation or closing remark. This is the main difference between a memo and a letter, that you have to skip a formal salutation and closing remark. For example, a letter starts off with, for example, you're writing a letter to your boss, dear sir, dear madam, or dear colleague, or if it is a formal, informal letter, dear friend, dear father, dear mother. These salutations are removed from the memos. We don't start off the memo with dear sir, dear all. This is not the case. And similarly with the complimentary clause, yours sincerely, yours truly, ये भी memo में से exclude किया जाता है, ये इसका हिस्सा नहीं होता. These are the two things that are part of a letter, not a memo. Next heading in this document is purpose of a memo. Usually you write memos to inform readers of specific information. Now you can number these down. There are 4 or 5 specific purposes of writing memo. Mostly we inform our readers about specific information. For example, the boss needs to tell the whole staff about the new Ramadan timings. So there will be a memo generated about it. उसमें timings listed होंगे और वो memo internally सारे office में circulate किया जाएगा ताकि हर किसी को timings का पता चल जाए. And one of the copies will be pasted on the notice board so that everybody is communicated about the Ramadan timings and everyone follows them. So this is a specific piece of information that is circulated, that is given to the reader. You might also write a memo to persuade others to take action, give feedback on an issue, or react to a situation. Now you need your boss to give you consent or permission for a proposal for a project that you have been thinking about you will take up. So you write a persuasive memo and send them that proposal and ask them, tell them about what project you want to do. What are the materials you'll be needing, how much funding you need, how much help you need, and why is that project important for your company or for your office. So वो memo आप बना के भेज देते हैं और आपके boss आपको, और वो persuasive memo होता है. You have to give justifications that कि आपका boss आपको उसके लिए permission दे दे. So that is one kind of memo. You need to persuade someone. Then you also give feedback on an issue. Your boss asked you to give feedback on a project that you were a part of or your team was working on. So आप एक memo generate करते हैं जिसमें आप feedback लिखते हैं कि हम इस project पे फलां time से काम कर रहे हैं, ये काम अब तक हो चुका है, this much is left, इतना काम अब तक क्यों नहीं हुआ, क्या क्या problems face करनी पड़ रही हैं, कब तक हो जाएगा, when will the next report be presented. So this is a feedback memo. Or react to a situation. Sometimes a memo comes out with the situation. For example, a boss generates a memo about a colleague not responding to office correspondence, या किसी भी किस्म का disciplinary problem है जिसके ऊपर boss जो है वो react करता है, और वो उसके लिए एक memo generate किया जाता है to that colleague कि आप अपना behavior जो है वो ठीक करें और ताकि वो react करें उस situation पे and they correct themselves. However, most memos communicate basic information such as meeting times or due dates. Memos बहुत short होते हैं, 3-4 lines से ज़्यादा का memo usually इंटरनल कोरेस्पॉन्डेंस में नहीं लिखा जाता. बहुत फॉर्मल मेमोज होते हैं जो बहुत लंबे होते हैं, जैसे कि ये वाले मेमोज थे परसुएशन, फीडबैक और रिएक्ट टू अ सिचुएशन वाले मेमोज, जिनमें आपको थोड़ा सा डिटेल में इंफॉर्मेशन देनी पड़ती. अदरवाइज मेमोज मोस्टली इन्फॉर्म पीपल अबाउट meeting timings or due dates कि आपके project की due date ये है and you have to submit a report by that time, और meeting time अब चेंज होके ये हो गया है या फलां टाइम पे फलां जगह पर मीटिंग होगी, and all these people are supposed to attend. While memos are a convenient channel to communicate, it is always necessary to determine if a meeting is more appropriate. For example, pretend your team needs to make a very important financial decision. A memo can ask for that information from team members and request a response by a specific date. Now, while memos are a convenient channel to communicate, it is always necessary to determine if a meeting is more important. Now, sometimes a meeting can be skipped, and with the help of those memos और उनके replies के through ही आप जो भी communication अपने meeting team members से करनी होती है वो आप कर लेते हैं. Instead of calling a meeting of your team members and telling them to sit together and give feedback on a specific issue that you were discussing, you can simply generate a memo and tell them कि इसी memo के reply में वो अपना feedback दे के लिख के तो भेज दें. So a memo can be a kind of two-way communication, just like an email. आप एक memo send करें, उसका reply आए और आपको उसका feedback मिल जाए. Instead of asking the whole team to sit together, take out time from their work and sit together and discuss the point that you want to talk about. By meeting with everyone, however, you not only get to hear final decisions but the rationale behind them. In fact, new ideas may stem from face-to-face discussions. By writing a memo in this scenario, you may never invent alternative ways of solving the problem. And similarly, they have also given us the पॉजिटिव पॉइंट्स ऑफ कॉलिंग अ मीटिंग. अगर आप मीटिंग बुलाते हैं तो उसमें ये फ़ायदा होगा कि मीटिंग में सारे मेंबर्स इकट्ठे बैठे होंगे और यू कैन हैव वन टू वन डिस्कशंस एंड हियर फाइनल डिसीजंस, और वहीं बैठे बैठे सबका फीडबैक लेके आप एक फाइनल डिसीजन दे देते हैं. दैट्स इट. इंस्टेड अगर आप मेमोज एक्सचेंज कर रहे हैं तो इट कैन टेक अ लॉट ऑफ टाइम. एक मेमो लिखा जा रहा है, फिर उसे सर्कुलेट किया जा रहा है, फिर उसका रिप्लाई आ रहा है, फिर वो सर्कुलेट हो रहा है, सो उसमें टाइम लग जाता है. इंस्टेड अगर आप मीटिंग बुला लेते हैं तो दैट इज़ even a better choice, and then you can invent alternative ways of solving that issue, that particular issue right there, or problem is solved easily. Before writing a memo, outline what your purpose is for doing so and decide if the memo is the best communication channel. Before you move over to writing a memo, you have to decide what your purpose is. आप किसको लिख रहे हैं और किस वजह से लिख रहे हैं, क्या टाइटल है आपके मेमो का, क्यों आपको मेमो लिखने की ज़रूरत महसूस हुई. एंड दैट टेक्स अस टू ऑडियंस एनालिसिस. ऑफ कोर्स यू नीड टू नो व्हाट योर ऑडियंस इज़ लाइक, वेदर इट्स योर बॉस, वेदर इट्स ऑल योर colleagues, or whether you have to send this memo to another branch of your department to communicate a piece of information. The typical audience for a memo is your co-workers and colleagues. However, in the age of downsizing, outsourcing and teleconferencing, you might also write memos to employees from other companies working on the project or other departments within your company. Now, in the modern times, as we see, a lot of downsizing has been happening. Downsizing means किसी कंपनी के कुछ एम्प्लॉयज़ को निकाल देना जॉब से ताकि कम हो जाएं लोग और थोड़ी सी सैलरीज में कमी आए और थोड़ा बजट जो है वो बैलेंस्ड हो जाए. सो व्हेन दिस इज हैपनिंग, यू समटाइम्स हैव टू राइट मेमोज टू योर टीम मेंबर्स हु आर वर्किंग इन अदर डिपार्टमेंट्स हु आर नॉट इन योर ऑफिस एट दैट टाइम. सो इट्स नॉट जस्ट योर कोवर्कर्स एंड कलीग्स, इट कैन बी योर कलीग्स इन अदर डिपार्टमेंट्स. सो मेमोज उन्हें भी लिखे जा सकते हैं. सो व्हेन यू सी कि आपकी ऑडियंस दूसरे डिपार्टमेंट में है तो उसके हिसाब से आपको मेमो में थोड़ा बैकग्राउंड इंफॉर्मेशन ज़्यादा डालनी है. एंड मेमो, वन इम्पॉर्टेंट आइडिया इज दैट is a part of technical communication. It's technical writing, and there is a specific way to write memo to go about it. You need to choose your language very carefully. You need to follow the format very carefully. एक typed memo होता है, memo handwritten कभी भी नहीं होता. So we'll discuss its type writing process and all that too. So what you need to do is, in the beginning, that you analyze your audience. This is why knowing your audience is very important when writing a memo. For example, if your audience is generally familiar with you professionally and or your role in the project, it is not necessary to provide a detailed background about your purpose. If they are new to the project, provide detailed background information so that they understand the situation and can provide constructive feedback if desired. As I just said, that if your audience is not just your immediate co-workers, you need to provide a very detailed background information regarding the project. But if they are a part of the project directly, आपके अपने ऑफिस में हैं, आपके साथ आते जाते उठते बैठते, then you don't have to provide any background at all. You just simply write कि project की stage पे हमने ये किया था, ये हुआ था, why did not that happen, when would that happen, और deadlines दें, feedback दें और memo आप send कर दें. So you don't have to give detailed background to your immediate colleagues. That's what you have to do with people who are in other departments who are not directly part of your project. It is helpful, however, to inform readers about the context. In other words, do not only write that a meeting will take place by listing the date and time. Inform why the meeting is occurring in the first place. Also, do not assume that your readers have contact information. Always include some way for them to get in touch with you and other members of the team working on the project. Now, it is always helpful to provide at least some context. ऐसा भी नहीं होता कि आपके ऑफिस में बैठे हुए लोग जो आपके साथ काम कर रहे हैं उनको किसी भी बैकग्राउंड इन्फॉर्मेशन की ज़रूरत ना हो, किसी भी प्रोजेक्ट से रिलेटेड. एटलीस्ट यू हैव टू प्रोवाइड सम कॉन्टेक्चुअल इन्फॉर्मेशन दैट विल ऑलवेज बी वेरी हेल्पफुल. इन अदर वर्ड्स, डू नॉट जस्ट से दैट अ मीटिंग विल हैपन or will take place. Also say why the meeting was necessary. Why did we need to have a meeting? And then inform about the meeting place and time. And then do not assume always that your readers have the background information. They might not have it, or they might have forgotten about it. So always give some context regarding what you are doing. And then all the team members, contact numbers, contact information is supposed to be there, because sometimes there is information that the team members might have forgotten, so they need to call you up or send you an email and ask about it. अगर आप अपना contact information नहीं देंगे तो that will be a problem. So your such memos are supposed to be accompanied by all your contact information. As a student, you may have to write memos to your instructor or classmates. When composing academic memos, consider what this audience already knows about the subject. For example, if you're writing a memo for a paper, does your audience already know what the paper is about? What further information do they require to provide understanding? This is all audience analysis. This is what you have to do when you get into professional work. आप किसी company firm में काम करते हैं and you come up with such technical and official correspondence. Academic level पर usually आपको memos academic topics पे लिखने नहीं पड़ते, आपको technical topics पर ही memos लिखने के लिए दिए जाते हैं. When writing a memo, consider the audience's knowledge of topic and previous experience and draft your memo to take care of those needs. Now, you need to know audience's previous knowledge and experience, and then you start off your memo. Now we move on to our general format of the memo. When you write a memo, you will follow a general format. Your instructor or company may have specific requirements that you must use. For instance, a company might have a particular way of presenting a heading, or may even use a specific type of letterhead or logo. Now, this is very important. When you write a memo in a professional context, some companies have their own memo formats. Basically वो एक ही टाइप का फॉर्मेट होता है, लेकिन कभी कभार एक लेटर हेड के ऊपर मेमो लिखा जाता है और हमेशा वही तरीका फॉलो किया जाता है. कभी कभार आपका लेटर हेड along with the logo of your company on which you print your memos. You already have your letterheads with you. Whenever you are writing a memo, always get that letterhead, print up your memo and send it to the desired person. So these are specific requirements of a company. कुछ companies जो हैं वो अपने memos में headings को proper तरीके से highlight करने के लिए कहते हैं, ताकि जब memo किसी higher authority के पास जाए who do not have a lot of time to go through a lengthy memo, तो उसको इस तरह से points में या highlight किया हुआ हो कि वो उसको जल्दी जल्दी पढ़ें और आपकी जो बात है वो convey हो जाए. However, usually a memo has a to, from, subject and date entry. शुरू में आपके पास to, from, subject और date जो है वो की हेडिंग्स होती हैं जिससे आपका मेमो शुरू होता है. जस्ट लाइक अ लेटर, जैसे लेटर आपका इनसाइड एड्रेस से शुरू होता है और उसके बाद वी हैव सब्जेक्ट एंड देन सैल्यूटेशन एंड एवरीथिंग. अब इसमें वी हैव 5 पार्ट्स: हेडिंग, मैसेज, टोन, लेंथ, फॉर्मेट, guidelines. Now look at the heading section. Heading, a memo's heading provides information about who will receive the memo, who is sending the memo, the date and the memo's subject. These are the 4 parts that a memo starts off with. आपके मेमो की मेन हेडिंग होती है, मेमोरेंडम या ऊपर लिखा होता है या लोगो या जो भी आपका लेटर हेड है, और उसके नीचे से आप शुरू करते हैं टू, फ्रॉम, डेट, सब्जेक्ट. ना ये जो हेडिंग्स हैं ये आपकी कैपिटलाइज्ड हैं, ये कैपिटलाइज नहीं भी हो सकती. दिस इज अ फॉर्मेट जो कि वेरी करता है फ्रॉम कंपनी टू कंपनी. इसमें सिंपली आपका टी कैपिटल होगा और ओ स्मॉल में होगा, या ये चारों हेडिंग्स बोल्ड में होंगी. सो ये सब वेरी करता है फ्रॉम कंपनी टू कंपनी, बट बेसिकली दीज आर द 4 headings your memo starts off with. This information may be bolded or highlighted in some way. फॉर एग्जाम्पल टू, फ्रॉम, डेट, सब्जेक्ट. चाहे आप इसको बोल्ड कर दें या इसको हाईलाइट कर दें कैपिटल करने के बाद. कलर से हाईलाइट नहीं करना है, कैपिटलाइज करके हाईलाइट करना है. Additionally, you might also initial your name in the from line to indicate that you gave the memo a final approval. Now in the to section you write the name of a person to whom you are sending the memo. From is from whom this memo is going, and then we have the date and subject. Sometimes organizations specify how to fill out the headings. If you are unsure, it may be a good idea to include your job title and your readers. The memo will then be informative to someone new to the situation or someone who received the memo after it was passed on from the original reader. Now when you write to, अगर मेमो में आप नाम के साथ जॉब टाइटल या डेजिग्नेशन भी ऐड कर दें, दैट विल बी एन एडेड पीस ऑफ इंफॉर्मेशन फॉर एनीवन हु इज़ न्यू टू द सिचुएशन. लेकिन अगर ऑफिस के अंदर ही 5-6 ऑफिस का एक डिपार्टमेंट है और वही आपस में एक मेमो सर्कुलेट करें, दे ऑल नो हु देयर बॉस इज. और फॉर एग्ज़ाम्पल अब्दुल रज़ाक का नाम है तो वो कौन है, हमारे बॉस हैं. शम्मा जो हैं वो सेक्रेटरी हैं. सो उनके साथ जॉब टाइटल्स लिखने की ज़रूरत नहीं होती. अदरवाइज इफ़ यू डू दैट इट्स गुड कि अगर आपका मेमो किसी नए बंदे के पास पढ़ने के लिए जाता है तो दे अंडरस्टैंड हु द मेमो इज़ टाइटल्ड टू. Then the message section of the memo, of course, as the name suggests, that contains the whole message. Memos are reproduced and exchanged rather freely, and it is common for a reader to receive a memo that is only marginally relevant to him or her. Now, memos mostly are copied to those readers जिनको उस मेमो की कोई ख़ास ज़रूरत नहीं होती. सो इसमें ऐसा मैसेज आपका होना चाहिए जो उस रीडर को भी अच्छी तरह से समझ में आ जाए. दैट्स टेक्निकल पार्ट. आपके मेमो का मैसेज इज़ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट बिकॉज दिस इज़ वेयर यू हैव टू बी वेरी केयरफुल. आपको बहुत कम्युनिकेटिव, बहुत वेल प्लान्ड मैसेज जो है वो लिखना है. This is why it is important that the first sentence of the memo should answer that question with a purpose statement. The best purpose statements are concise and direct. Your first sentence of the memo should tell us why you are writing the memo. क्या वजह है कि आपको मेमो लिखने की ज़रूरत पड़ी, ताकि टाइम ज़ाया नहीं हो और फ़ौरन से पता चल जाए कि मेमो की वजह क्या थी. योर मेमोज मैसेज शुड ऑल्सो प्रोवाइड अ कॉन्टेक्स्ट फॉर रीडर्स. इन अदर वर्ड्स, ऑलवेज टेल योर रीडर्स वाई यू आर राइटिंग. Consider the following questions. Ask yourself the following questions because you have to give the purpose of writing the memo. आप क्यों लिख रहे हैं मेमो? अगर वो बंदा उस मेमो को उठा के पढ़े तो क्यों पढ़े? Is your memo a result of a situation? For instance, as a result of yesterday's meeting, this happened. Start से ही आप यही शुरू करें. There is no need to say assalamu alaikum and hello and hi. इसमें सैल्यूटेशन का कोई कॉन्सेप्ट नहीं होता मेमो में. यू सिंपली स्टार्ट ऑफ विद व्हाट यू वांट टू से. सो इज योर मेमो अ रिजल्ट ऑफ अ सिचुएशन? फॉर एग्जाम्पल देर वॉज अ मीटिंग और देर वॉज अ डिनर प्रीवियस नाइट, तो उसके बारे में आपको अपने डिपार्टमेंट के लोगों को बताना है. तो एज आफ्टर द डिनर लास्ट नाइट विद जिन जिन लोगों के साथ हुआ, तो आप शुरू इस तरह करेंगे कि आपके रीडर को समझ में आ जाए व्हाट योर मेमो इज़ अबाउट. इज़ योर मेमो अ रिमाइंडर? फॉर एग्जाम्पल, द प्रपोजल इज़ ड्यू July 2nd. So whatever proposal they were asking for, जुलाई को उसकी due date है, so you have to submit it by then. By providing context for your readers, you avoid being asked to provide that information later. Now, if you provide this information, contextual information, or a little bit of background, right in the first memo, your reader does not have to send a memo back and ask you कि ये information क्या थी, ज़रा explain करें. So that would save a lot of time, and in that case time is very important in official dealings. आपके पास कभी कभार इतनी deadlines meet करनी होती हैं कि आपके पास time नहीं होता, बार बार आप एक memo लिख के वापस भेजें, and then you get replies, and your queries are solved and everything. Also, you should always include your contact information at the bottom of your message. This can be your phone number or email address. Be sure to add your contact information, your phone number or email address, because there can be anything the reader might want to ask you. Finally, consider how your memo looks. If you have nothing but paragraph after paragraph of text, you might use lists to draw attention to specific information. Do not make your memo a huge collection of text, because people don't have so much time to read all that. And memos are specifically very short correspondence. बहुत short communication होती है, इसलिए उसे short रखें. और अगर आपको बड़ा paragraph लिखना भी है तो उसको bulleted points में, drawings और points में divide करके numbered points में लिखें. Lists represent an effective way to present information. Lists are supposed to be there because they are easier to handle, they are easier to read and understand. Not only do they break down large amounts of texts, but they also provide text in a way that is visually pleasing. And yes, your memo looks good as well. Lists are especially useful for conveying steps, phases, years, procedures or decisions. Whatever decisions were taken, whatever procedures were or are supposed to be made, years, kitne kaam hua, kya hua, phases, steps, everything can be highlighted in list form. By avoiding full sentences in a list, your information is concise and more likely to engage your readers. For example, to receive a degree in engineering, you must complete the following. Number 1, core courses. Number 2, elective courses. And number 3, senior design. Now, if you had written these three in a paragraph और इसी line में आगे लिख देते तो reader might have skipped them. और लंबे memo में वो शायद पढ़ ही नहीं सकते. List can be bulleted as in the example or numbered. Typically, you should use a numbered list when you need to stress the order of the listed items. Of course, जब आप order के हिसाब से लिख रहे हैं तो 1, 2, 3 करेंगे. Otherwise, it can be a bulleted list. The next important part in this regard is tone. Since you typically send memos to those working within your company, you can use a more informal tone than you would if you were writing a business letter. Tone memo की business letter की निस्बत थोड़ी सी informal हो सकती है. Otherwise, and it depends to whom you are writing. If you are writing your memo to your colleagues and people inside your own company, then it can be slightly informal. Otherwise, it is supposed to be formal. For example, you might refer to your colleagues by their first names or use humor. Usually, office correspondence में आप first name से किसी को नहीं बुलाते हैं, लेकिन memos क्योंकि थोड़े से slightly informal correspondence होती है, इसलिए उसमें आप कर सकते हैं. However, always keep in mind that you still need to be professional. Yes, your language is supposed to be professional. आप उसमें कहीं भी इतने ज़्यादा ridiculous ना हो जाए कि वो professional official चीज़ से निकल जाए. Ask yourself how the company's president would react to your memo. And then you'll be able to keep yourself in a limited kind of communication and correspondence. If you would be embarrassed to have the president read your memo, consider changing or eliminating information. Now, just imagine after writing an informal memo or humorous memo कि आपका president जो है organization का, company का, वो कैसे react करेगा. उससे आपको काफ़ी अच्छी तरह से idea हो जाएगा कि आपको memo की tone कैसी रखनी है. Length. Memos are generally short, concise documents. However, you may have to write longer memos depending on your topic. For example, a memo might present the new guidelines for a specific office task. So when there are guidelines, it can be a longer memo. Obviously, if you have over 40 guidelines, the memo will be more than a page. Some memos might even introduce a short report, so they are slightly longer. In this case, you might include the report in the memo, or the memo might be a separate document introducing the report. So आप रिपोर्ट मेमो के साथ अटैच कर सकते हैं या अलग से भी रिपोर्ट को इंट्रोड्यूस कर सकते हैं, लेकिन मेमोज की लेंथ कोशिश करें कि अगर बहुत छोटी इन्फॉर्मेशन है तो वो बहुत थोड़ी हो, और अगर ज़रूरत पड़े तो उससे लंबा करें. Format guidelines, regardless of the styles and memos generally have similar format characteristics. Useless unless otherwise specified by your professor or company. Listed below are some basic guidelines that can help you create a memo. Now, as in the beginning with the heading section, I told you most memos have very similar format concerns, unless otherwise specified by your company or your instructor or the person you are asked to write a memo by. These are format guidelines that are general. Number one, memos have 1-inch margins around the page and are on plain paper. Lined paper के ऊपर आप नहीं लिखते. 1-inch margin उसकी all 4 sides पे होना चाहिए. All lines of the memo begin at the left margin. They are totally left indented. उसमें किसी किस्म की indentation नहीं होती. The text begins 2 spaces after the subject line. Subject line के 2 spaces के बाद you have a very clear idea. Keyboard के ऊपर you have the space bar. You press it twice and then you start off your memo. The body of the memo is single spaced with 2 spaces between paragraphs. Body of the memo हर line में single space होती है, and you know what single space is. Spacing का जो option होता है उसमें आप कर सकते हैं, but after every paragraph you have to give 2 spaces. Second page headings are used as in business letters. The second page includes who the memo is to, the page number and the date. Now, second page headings are a kind of headers जो कि मेमो के दोनों पेजेस के ऊपर जितने भी पेजेस हैं उसके ऊपर होता है, और that includes who the memo is to, page number and date, ताकि हर पेज के ऊपर ये चीज़ जो है वो आ जाए. Number 7, the sender usually signs the memo using initials, first name or complete name. और भेजने वाला जो है वो नीचे सैल्यूटेशन नहीं होती, यहाँ उस जगह पर साइन करता है अपने नाम के साथ. वी लुक एट सम important memos, example memos, and you'll see कि उनके नीचे किस तरह से साइन किया हुआ है. These are the common types of memos, and then we look at an example of each of them. Each memo is written for a specific purpose to a specific audience. The purpose and audience for your memo will help guide what type of memo you will write. Now, right in the beginning, in the first 2 sentences of this document, we discussed that you need to analyze your audience and the purpose of your writing your memo. So when you do that, that helps you pick out any one of these 4 types of memos. अगर आप कुछ किसी चीज़ के लिए डायरेक्ट करना चाह रहे हैं तो आप डायरेक्टिव मेमो लिखेंगे. रिस्पॉन्स टू एन इंक्वायरी है तो आपकी इंक्वायरी ऑलरेडी आ चुकी है एंड यू आर रिस्पॉन्डिंग टू इट. ट्रिप रिपोर्ट एंड फील्ड लैब रिपोर्ट्स, ये दोनों रिपोर्ट्स वाले जो मेमोज हैं ये स्लाइटली लंबे और डिटेल्ड होते हैं. Even though no 2 memos are identical, 4 common broad categories exist. If you are unsure about how to format your memo, ask your instructor or review memos your co-workers have written. So these are the 4 basic types. Let's look at the directive memo. The first one is directive memo. Then we have response to an inquiry, trip report and a field or lab report. These are the 4 kinds of memos. The first one is directive memo. A directive memo states a policy or procedure you want the reader or co-worker to follow. Now, directive का मतलब है when you are trying to direct someone into doing something, to do something. ये आपके बॉस की तरफ से हो सकता है, आपके सुपरवाइजर की तरफ से हो सकता है, आप अपने सबऑर्डिनेट्स को भेज सकते हैं. The length of the memo depends on how much space is required to properly explain the procedure. ये मेमोज यूजुअली डायरेक्ट करते हैं कोई काम करने के लिए या कोई पॉलिसी या प्रोसीजर अपने को-वर्कर्स को एक्सप्लेन करते हैं. Now, the length of the memo totally depends on how long you want to keep the memo, और प्रोसीजर कितना लंबा है. The body of the memo should begin with a clear, concise sentence that states the purpose of the memo. It directly starts off with the purpose of the memo. For example, the purpose of this memo is to let all members of the ABC department know that donors will be provided every Friday morning at 8 a.m. So, a memo can be as simple as this. इसमें आपको कुछ भी और ऐड करने की ज़रूरत नहीं है. You simply start off, the purpose of this memo is to let all members of the ABC department know that donors will be provided every Friday morning at 8 a.m. फ्राइडे को उनको डोनट्स जो हैं वो दिए जाएंगे. सो दिस मेमो ब्रिंग्स गुड न्यूज़. यू देन प्रोवाइड स्टेटमेंट्स दैट एक्सप्लेन द रैशनल फॉर सच अ डिसीजन और प्रोसीजर. और उसके बाद आप बताते हैं कि ऐसा क्यों किया जा रहा है, ऐसी बिला वजह डोनर्स दिए जा रहे हैं या देयर हैज़ बीन डिमांड फॉर देम या किसी किस्म की कोई ट्रीट है या कुछ भी. तो उसके बाद 2-3 लाइंस में आप रीज़न स्टेट करें क्यों. Then example of a directive memo, it's as small as this. Look at this. This memo starts from here and ends right here with this table. And this memo is memorandum. Look at to, from, date, to, design team, number 362. आपको टीम का पूरा नाम लिखने की ज़रूरत नहीं है. From WB working. Date आपने लिख दी. Subject है इसका project schedule. As a result of yesterday's meeting, I suggest we follow the project schedule listed below. Remember, we must submit a proposal by noon on July 2nd. Now, May 27th को ये generate हुआ है और July 2nd को उन्होंने deadline दी है कि इन tasks के accordingly आप अपने काम करें. Schedule दे दिया है and everybody is to follow. The task is divide research into groups and compile information. June 6, completion date. 2 कॉलम्स में डिवाइड करके आपके सामने स्केड्यूल जो है वो टेबल की फॉर्म में आ गया. रिव्यू डिज़ाइंस फ्रॉम केट एंड बिल जून 11, राइट प्रपोजल जून 23rd, रिव्यू प्रपोजल जून 26 एंड सबमिट प्रपोजल फॉर प्रिंटिंग जून 27. Now, schedule has been given according to tasks and their completion date, and this will definitely go on the notice board as well. हर उस बंदे को जिसका ये task है, ये memo will be sent to that person, and they have to do these tasks, finish these tasks till these deadlines that are given under the heading of completion date. So your directive memo can be as simple, as small, as short as this one. Moving on to the next one, we have the response memo. The purpose of this memo is to provide the audience with desired information. It usually has 4 parts. Response memo आपका response to an inquiry होता है. Basically it provides audience with desired information. Purpose statement, summary, discussion and action. These memos are slightly longer. Begin this memo with a short paragraph stating the purpose, which is always to respond to a request for information. Next, summarize the information requested. Now, when you are writing a response memo, इसका purpose हमेशा यही होता है कि आप you have to respond to a request for information. Your subordinate has sent you a memo asking for a specific information about a project. So you are writing a memo to them in response to their inquiry, और आप पहले paragraph में state कर रहे हैं कि purpose क्या है, and then you summarize the information requested. Third, in a discussion section, point out to the reader any important information that you feel should be highlighted or stressed. Now, regarding the information, if there is anything that you need to stress to your reader, तो उसका जिक्र आप discussion section में करेंगे. And then action, finally in the action section, state any additional action you are going to take or feel should be taken to properly address the original request for information. So any action that you need, you want the reader to take or या आपको करना है to provide information, तो उसका जिक्र आप उसमें करें. Now look at this example response memo. We have again the same to, from, date. Purpose की heading में लिखा है this memo responds to your request that the weekly meeting be moved from 9 AM to 10 AM. This was the request. Summary, उसमें point wise लिखा है कि problem क्या है. This request is satisfactory as long as it is approved by management. Discussion, management usually has no problem with the individual time changes in meetings as long as meeting minutes are turned in by noon to Kathy. Now of course whenever a meeting occurs in a प्रोफेशनल एनवायरनमेंट उसके मिनट्स लिए जाते हैं, मीटिंग मिनट्स होते हैं. दैट दिस इज़ अनदर काइंड ऑफ टेक्निकल राइटिंग. जो मेन पॉइंट्स उस मीटिंग के होते हैं वो लिखे जाते हैं. एंड देन दे आर टेलिंग अस दैट मैनेजमेंट डज नॉट हैव एनी प्रॉब्लम इफ द मिनट्स ऑफ द मीटिंग रीच कैथी बाय नून द सेम डे. Action, I have asked Kathy if she thinks this would be a problem and she said no, so all we need to do now is get approval from Steve. Now Steve may be the management that we are talking about, that is the boss. And this is your response memo. You asked for the meeting timings to be changed and your boss replied with these headings, and these are also very short. हर heading में आगे मुश्किल से एक sentence है and it's not very difficult to read and understand. Trip report memo. A trip report memo is usually sent to a supervisor after an employee returns from a business venture. The structure is listed below. It's a kind of a trip report, जो field report होती है, जो detailed reports लिखी जाती हैं, लेकिन ये बहुत short होता है. When you send an employee to for a foreign tour, for example, a company may you sent one of the supervisors to Bangkok to attend a conference, or they came back and you asked them to submit their findings, whatever they did. So they will be writing a trip report memo and sending it over to the whole staff, ताकि उन्हें पता चले कि when this person went to Bangkok for the conference, what did they do there, what did they bring back, और हमें इससे क्या फ़ायदा होगा. So it is purpose statement, summary, discussion and action. Begin this memo with a short paragraph stating the purpose, which is always to provide information on your trip. You have to give a little bit of background about your trip, state the purpose of your trip, tell them why you went, why you were nominated, and the basic information so that everybody knows what the memo is about. In the summary section, summarize the trip. Remember, the reader is usually not interested in a detailed minute-by-minute account of what happened. Instead, take the time to write a clear and concise outline of your trip. You don't need to tell the reader a minute-to-minute detail. You landed at the airport, you had problems with the customs, और फिर आप होटल में गए तो वहाँ क्या हुआ, ये सब नहीं बताना होता. You just have to make a brief outline of your trip, how was it and what was the professional benefit. तो summary में आपको वो बताना है. Then the third section is discussion. Point out to the reader any important information that you feel should be highlighted or stressed. Any person that you met there that might have been working in your company before, something that was highlighted, that was an important part of your trip, उसे आप discussion section में mention करेंगे. And then finally, in the action section, state any additional relevant information you have come across since returning from the trip, or any recommendations you might have for the reader. Now, instead of action, in the action section, you usually add your recommendations, that after this trip or this conference, what do you think should be done to inculcate whatever you learned there in the department. वहाँ आपने जो कुछ भी सीखा उसको यहाँ पे इस्तेमाल करने के लिए हमें क्या करना चाहिए. So that last part is recommendations basically. So let's look at this example trip report memo. We start off with to, from, date, subject is weekly meeting, purpose this memo present my impressions of the meeting last week. अब ये कोई ट्रिप वगैरह नहीं है, बैंकॉक कॉन्फ्रेंस नहीं है, they went to a meeting with someone last week और उसकी रिपोर्ट है. That is very brief summary. In general, I felt that the meeting went well and much progress was made. Discussion, Bob and Jeff were able to make progress on the graphics and should have them finished next week. Kylie and Sandy are on chapter 2 of the Hewson Manual. सो डिस्कशन में कुछ इंपॉर्टेंट बातें जो 2-3 लोगों को जो टास्क्स दिए थे वो, एंड देन रिकमेंडेशन. सी दे हैव रिप्लेस द एक्शन वर्ड विद रिकमेंडेशन बिकॉज दैट्स मोर इम्पॉर्टेंट. Kylie will meet with Jeff to see how they want the graphics integrated into the text. So this is the recommendation. Now the last kind of field report kind of memo is a field report memo. Memos are often used to report on inspection and procedures. These memos, known as field or lab reports, include the problem, method, results and conclusions, but spend less time on the methods section. Now they are again very brief, बहुत डिटेल्ड नहीं होते, लेकिन फील्ड रिपोर्ट मेमो होती है, इसमें इंस्पेक्शन और प्रोसीजर्स होते हैं. फॉर एग्जांपल, वन ऑफ द सुपरवाइजर्स वाज सेंट टू द अदर डिपार्टमेंट फॉर एन इंस्पेक्शन और अ प्रोसीजर. सो दे कम बैक एंड राइट अ फील्ड रिपोर्ट मेमो कि वहाँ क्या क्या उन्होंने देखा. अ फील्ड और लैब रिपोर्ट मेमो हैज़ द फॉलोइंग स्ट्रक्चर. पर्पस ऑफ मेमो: summary, problem leading to the decision to perform the procedure, methods, results, conclusions and recommendations. Let's look at an example now. Now in 2 we have Dean of Journalism. Now this field report would go to Dean of Journalism. Date from Steve Nash, date and subject is computer lab. Purpose: this memo presents my findings of my visit to the computer lab at Clark C252. Now they went to visit the computer lab. वहाँ पर उन्होंने क्या देखा, क्या किया, वो उसकी फाइंडिंग्स प्रेजेंट करेगा. पर्पस आपने साफ साफ सबसे पहले मेंशन करना है. समरी, इन जनरल आई फेल्ट दैट द लैब नीड्स मच न्यू इक्विपमेंट एंड रेनोवेशन, and this will be a very general explanation of what happened, that the lab needs a lot of renovation and equipment. Problem, the inspection was designed to determine if the present equipment was adequate to provide graduate students with the technology needed to perform the tasks expected of them by their professors and thesis research. And the problem was, why did they have to go and visit the lab, was that they needed to determine which equipment was to be presented in the lab to help facilitate the professors and their students for thesis research. And then we have methods, and इसमें methods में बहुत time नहीं लगाना होता. I ran a series of tasks on SPSS and WordPerfect and recorded memory capacity and processing time for each task. What methods were used to supervise, वो बहुत briefly हमने बताना है. Results: the inspection found that the hardware used to run the computers is outdated and that the computers itself are very slow. Results क्या थे? Conclusions क्या हुए? This lab is inadequate for the everyday needs of graduate students in this department. Recommendations: 4 new computers running on Windows 98 and a processing speed of at least 233 MHz should be megahertz, that is, should be purchased immediately. Now recommendation क्या है कि इस लैब को graduate students की यूज़ के काबिल बनाने के लिए 4 new computers are supposed to be bought with these specifications so that it is usable. So this was the document that gave us a total overview of what memos are, the kinds of memos, how we have to go about them, what are the parts of various memos, kinds of memos. May we discussed the 4 kinds of memos: the directive memo, and then the field report memo and trip report memo. And the purpose of memo, audience analysis is a very important part. And this was a overall introduction of memo writing to you. I hope this document helped you a lot. If you have any problems, any queries, go back and read the document again. This is a self-explanatory information. It will help you revise and refresh all the information. Now let's discuss what a memo is, along with some examples of very important specific memos, so that you have a very clear idea before going over to writing a memo yourself. While looking at various examples of memos from different professional contexts, you will have a very clear idea what are the specifications of a memo, what are the format concerns, how you have to start and how you end it, uski body jo hoti hai memo ki usme kya likhte hain and everything. A memo is a hard copy sent on paper document. Memo is never a soft copy. हमेशा printed form में इसे भेजा जाता है. It is used for communicating inside an organization. It is usually short, contains to, from, date, subject headings and message sections, does not need to be signed but sometimes has the sender's name at the bottom to be more friendly, or the sender's full name to be more formal. If in doubt, follow your company style. Now it's not always signed, but if you have to sign it, it is a formal memo. So these are some important indications of a memo, because you should know that it is a hard copy. Memo is never sent through an email. Memorandum हमेशा hard copies में होते हैं और इनका proper record रखा जाता है. Then it's an internal communication, internal correspondence for a company or organization, and they are very short or contains to, from, dates, subject headings and message sections. This we have already discussed. And the signing thing is that you need to follow your company style, or you can sign it to make the memo a very formal one. Let's look at this first example. It's a memo to Health and Safety Committee from Joe Chan, who is the chairperson of the company, who is sending the memo. It's basically about room change for the next meeting. It's as simple as that. The memo ends with just one line, and that is: the meeting on Saturday, 25th August has been changed to room 101. 101. Saturday date wahi hai, but room has been changed from whatever room to 101. This is the simplest of memo you can ever create. But see, ये वाला जो portion है ये हर memo का हमेशा एक जैसा रहेगा. Let's look at the second example. To Catherine Chu, Regional Manager, from Stephen Yu, Sales, date 28th July. Subject notification of my resignation. Now see, they have resigned. So resignation के लिए भी वो उन्होंने बिल्कुल brief जो है memo वो choose किया है. I am writing to inform you of my intention to resign from GNS Holdings. I have appreciated very much my 4 years working for the company. The training has been excellent and I have gained valuable experience working within an efficient and professional team environment. In particular, I have appreciated your personal guidance during these first years of my career. Now see, they have given some positive points about the company they have worked in. I felt now that it is time to further develop my knowledge and skills base in a different environment. I would like to leave if possible in a month's time on Saturday 25th August. This will allow me to complete my current workload. I hope that this suggested arrangement is acceptable to the company. Once again, thank you for your support. Now, you just have to write from Stephen Yu, Sales. That's it. You don't have to sign it off because it's not a very formal memo. अगर आप कर देते हैं तो it will become a formal memo. Otherwise इसमें कोई ऐसी informal बात जो है वो नहीं की है. Let's look at this another example. Contact Computer Graphics. To SM Chan, General Manager, from Samantha NG, Office Manager, date and purchase of a microwave oven. Now this of course is a persuasive memo. You need your general manager to understand that you need a microwave oven. और उसमें देखिए headings हैं: introduction, background, advantages, staff opinion, cost, और उसके बाद brands की भी detail दे दी है और उनकी कीमतें भी दे दी हैं, request, और नीचे उसके sign किए because this is a proposal and kind of a permission, so it is formal. Introduction: at the monthly staff meeting on Wednesday 25th July, you requested information about the possible purchase of a microwave oven. I would now like to present these details, and the request information was made by the general manager, and this is a response. Background: since the move to the new office in Kowloon Bay, staff have difficulty in finding a nearby place to buy lunch. Advantages: providing a microwave oven in the pantry would enable staff to bring in their own lunch boxes and reheat their food. Also, staff members are less likely to return to work late after lunch. So this again is a very positive point that has been attached to the advantages. Staff opinion: a survey found that staff would like to use the microwave oven. Cost: details of suitable models are given below. Philip model, this is $2,800, Sharp $2,600, and Sony $2,400. And then the request: if this meets with your approval, we would appreciate if you could authorize up to $3,000 for the purchase of the microwave oven. And then the person has signed their name. So this was an example memo in which the staff of an office demanded for a microwave oven so that it is convenient for them to bring lunch from home and reheat it in the office, and without wastage of time or without going out for lunch and then coming back late and all that fussy thing. They can easily have lunch inside the office and enjoy themselves. So this was one of the example memos that we discussed. Now we move on to discussing why write memos. Memos are useful in situations where emails or text messages are not suitable. Now text messages are quite informal way of communication, and similarly emails are both formal and informal. Where both these cannot be used, memos are useful. For example, if you are sending an object such as a book or a paper that needs to be signed through internal office mail, you can use a memo as a covering note to explain what the receiver should do. So this again is a covering note. We can use memos in the form of office notes and covering notes as well. Now at this point in time, you might not have any idea what office notes and covering notes or even memos are, but once you get into professional life, you get into offices, you start working for professional organizations, become business managers or become computer scientists, you will understand what official documentation is like, how we correspond, how we communicate internally inside an office. So for example, you want to send an object over to a person inside your office, inside the internal working body, you need the book to be signed by the person who receives it. So you add an office note or a covering note along with the object, directing the person what they have to do once they receive the book. So they know when they receive the book they have to sign it or then send it back to you or do whatever you ask them to. How to write a memo. Now this again is a kind of a review of what we have done till now. Just one or two points. We'll quickly move through them so that it keeps on, the knowledge keeps on refreshing in your mind. How to write a memo. Memos should have the following sections and content. A to section containing the name of the receiver. For informal memos, the receiver's given name, that is to and D, is enough. When you're writing an informal memo, it is always okay to write the name of the person who is like very friendly with you, or you know them at a very informal level. आप उनका जो nickname है या जो first name है आप वो भी friendly terms में use कर सकते हैं. That is to and D. That is enough. For more formal memos, use the receiver's full name, and then again in the formal memos what mostly is required is that you add the designation or job title as well. If the receiver is in another department, use the full name and the department name as well. Now you have to be very careful. These things vary from memo to memo, from one memo to the other. You have to decide how you have to write all these things, because if you are writing a memo inside your own department, you don't need to mention the name of the department, because the memo will be circulated inside the department. Everybody knows what department they are in. But if the memo is going to another department, you need to write the name of the department as well. It is usually not necessary to use Mr., Mrs., Miss or Miss unless the memo is very formal, and you use these titles with names of people whom you are not at a very friendly terms. So these titles basically make your memos very formal. So it's not usually necessary to do that. You just simply write the name of the person and their job title if it's required. Then we have a from section containing the name of the sender. For informal memos, the sender's other name from Bill is enough. Other name is the nickname or any other name you're called for, with. For more formal memos, use the sender's full name. If the receiver is in another department, use the full name and the department name. It is usually not necessary to use. It's the same thing, because to and from are different only in the sense that to is for the person you are writing to and from is yourself. So again, if it's yourself, it's your first name, and it's an informal memo. If it is a formal memo, you're supposed to use the full name and the job title and the name of the department if the memo is going outside the department. A date section. To avoid confusion between the British and American date systems, write the month as a word or an abbreviation. For example, January or Jan. Now in the British format, we have the date first, then we have the month, and then the year. But in American format, we have the month first, then the date, and then the year. So you must know the difference between them. Both the formats are acceptable now all over the world, but that again varies from department to department, from companies to companies. So if your department or your firm or your company uses the British format, you have to follow that, and if they use the American format, you have to adhere to that. Otherwise, what you can do is that if you want to avoid the confusion, you can write the month as a word or an abbreviation. So you can either write full January or just Jan, Jan, and then put a dot after that. That means that you have skipped something from here. Then we have a subject heading, which of course course you know is the subject of the memo and then the message. These are the 5 basic parts of a memo. And then in the message section we have just discussed how your messages can vary. There were 3 different kinds of memos that we discussed. One was very informal, and then the 2 others were a little formal and were divided into sections that we just discussed. Unless the memo is a brief note, a well-organized memo message should contain the following sections. If your memo is a brief note, that's just all right. It was the first memo that we discussed in this document, जिसमें सिर्फ एक लाइन का मैसेज था. अगर आपका मेमो बहुत छोटा है और बहुत ही सिंपल सी एक पीस ऑफ इंफॉर्मेशन दे रहा है, दैट्स इट. लेकिन अगर आपका मेमो डिफरेंट सेक्शंस में डिवाइडेड है और वो बहुत लंबा है, तो दीज आर द थिंग्स दैट यू नीड टू डू. आपको इन सब हिस्सों में उसे डिवाइड करना है. सिचुएशन एंड इंट्रोडक्शन ऑफ द पर्पस ऑफ द मेमो, एंड ऑल दीज थिंग्स हैव बीन डिस्कस्ड बिफोर. आपका जो the other 2 kinds of memos that we discussed after the first very brief one, they were the ones जिनमें ये चीज़ें हैं, जिनमें section wise problems, then the discussion section, then summary, and then the recommendation or action section, वो सब divided है. So वो आपको तब करना होता है जब आपका memo थोड़ा सा लंबा हो, because if you have divided your memo into headings, it's very good for the reader to understand it and connect it with their previous knowledge, and then do what you want them to do. और वो persuasive memo है या directive memo है, तो वो करेंगे जो आप उनसे करवाना चाहते हैं. Situation is an introduction or the purpose of the memo, and then we have the problem that is optional. If you don't have any problem that you are discussing in your memo, you can skip that. And then this again varies from one memo to the other. It depends totally on the kind of memo and the problem that you are trying to discuss. If it is a directive memo, you simply have no problem to discuss, so you will skip this problem section. That is why it is written here that it is optional. For example, since the move to the new office in Kowloon Bay, staff has difficulty in finding a nearby place to buy lunch. Now, in this memo that we just discussed, we had a very evident problem that the staff was facing, that they did not have a proper place to have lunch, buy lunch from. So they needed a microwave oven inside the office, and that was what the memo was about. And then we have the solution. Of course, you have to present the solution for which you have to persuade your boss to act upon it. And then again, solution is also optional. Sometimes in the memos where there is no problem, there will be no solution. For example, providing a microwave oven in the pantry would enable staff to bring in their own lunch boxes and reheat their food. So they have presented a solution to the problem as well, that the boss would read and try to see whether it is feasible, whether it can be met or not, and then the proper action would be taken. And then section D would be action that can also be changed into recommendation according to the need and purpose of your memo. This may be the same as the solution or be the part of the solution that the receiver needs to carry out. We would appreciate if you could authorize up to $3,000. Now, this is the action that they want the boss or the receiver of the memo to take. So if you don't have any directive for them to follow, you can also skip this section. And then last one is politeness. To avoid the receiver refusing to take the action you want, it is important to end with a polite expression. Once again, thank you for your support, or more informally, thanks. So you again have to be very polite, because when you're asking for something, you need to keep your tone at a very politer level, and then that again is a favor at the staff level. So be very polite and always add a thanks line or a thank you note at the end, because it's always very good to end at a very polite note. And then the signature, this is again optional. If your memo is very formal and it's asking for something, then you can add your signature. Otherwise, it's totally not necessary, because you in the beginning you have written from whom the memo is coming, so it's not necessary. And now to end this document we have an exercise, and it's a very interesting one. We have around 9 different parts of one particular memo that you have to arrange in a particular order, in a proper order that we just discussed. The order you already know it. We have done it in detail till now. Let's take some time, around 5 minutes, and discuss this. The instructions are: put the sections of a memo given below in the correct order. Now we are going to read the sections, and then we see how logically they can be put in a proper order. The first one is message. Number 2 is: in order to receive sick pay, I need to send in my doctor's note. C, I attach the doctor's note. D, thank you. E, from K.K. Wong, sales. F, to Julia Wong, human resource. G, I was sick yesterday and therefore I couldn't come to work. And then section number 8 is date 28 July 2012, and the last one is subject sick leave certificate. Now this is now you must have some idea that this is a memo asking for a sick pay. They have taken a sick leave, so they want the pay for that leave because it was a genuine reason and they were not feeling well. So they have written to the human resource. We see the 2 addresses right here. And the human resource would definitely be forwarding the this application to the higher departments, higher authorities, and it will be approved or not. That's for the later part. Now let's quickly arrange these and see whether you remember your work jo abhi tak humne kiya hai or not. So we start off with to Julia Wong, human resource, from K.K. Wong, sales. Then we have date, the E, F, H, and then of course date के बाद subject होता है, sick leave certificate. Now the 4 heading part, that is the address part, जो शुरू का format part है, वो हो गया आपका, starting from to F, then from E, then we have date, then I, subject, sick leave certificate. This is the first 4 orders, F, E, H and I. Then moving on, we next will be having A, message की heading होगी, और उसके बाद आप you start off with your message. This one, G, after A we have G, I was sick yesterday and therefore I couldn't come to work. Then we have B, after G we have B, in order to receive sick pay I need to send in my doctor's note. Then we have C, I attached the doctor's note. And then last one, thank you. That's it. That's all the memo is about. There is nothing extra that is being said. जो बात उन्होंने करनी है कि मैंने कल छुट्टी की थी, उसकी मुझे पे चाहिए, and I need to attach a doctor's note, that is a medical certificate in other languages. तो वो in other language वो उन्होंने साथ attach कर दिया, and the memo is complete. Let's revise and you keep writing the correct order of this exercise, and those who have already written it, just check whether it's correct or not. First we had E, then F, after that we had H, then I, A, G, B, C and D. This is the correct order according to what we have studied till now. So this was the end of this document that was titled What is a Memo? That was a kind of a refresher for you, along with example memos, with this very brief memo about a meeting, and then about the a kind of a notification of resignation that the person has sent to their employer, and then we discussed this demand of a microwave oven, and after that what basic requirements a memo has. Now moving on, we have this document that is a review of all that we have studied till now regarding memos. This is by Dr. Judith M. Newman, and it's inclusive of every thing that we have studied till now. So we'll just move through quickly and see whether you remember what we did before or not. And then this is also to enhance your knowledge about memo writing, the technicalities, the basic important points that you need to keep in mind, whether it's a longer memo or a smaller one. You need to have a format concerns in your mind. Memo writing is something of an art form. A letter is not a memo, nor is a memo a letter. A memo is a short, to the point communication conveying your thoughts, reactions, or opinion on something. A memo can call people to action or broadcast a bit of timely news. With memo writing, shorter is better. So always keep your memos short. They are neither letters nor letters are not memos, and memos are not letters. They are very short, to the point communication conveying a piece of information, opinion, reaction, or something. And then it also is used to convey a bit of timely news. As with all writing, memo writing needs a structure. Because they are short, rambling meanderings will soon destroy the memo's effectiveness and become a waste of productive time to those that read it and to the person who wrote it. Now, during your work at a professional organization, you need to be very careful about the use of your time and the use of the other person's time to whom you are writing. So your memo is supposed to be very crisp, very precise, very to the point, so that you don't waste a lot of time writing it, and then the other person who is reading it does not need to waste more time, because time at professional level is very important. If you have something longer than a page, it's better to send it as an attachment or a document that follows the memo used as a cover letter. Never make a memo too long. If someone takes a glance at a memo that appears to be too long, there's a good chance it will be set aside for a time when they aren't busy. This can defeat your memo's purpose, which is timely communication. Now, keeping in mind a memo's purpose, that is timely communication, you are not supposed to make your memos long, because the person who receives it, maybe at that time they have a huge pile of files placed on their table and they're looking at them, and looking at your memo being 4 or 5 pages long, or 4 or 10 paragraphs, long paragraphs with a lot of information to digest, they will keep it aside and say कि हम तब पढ़ेंगे जब हम फारिग होंगे, और बाद में शायद उन्हें टाइम ना मिले, and the purpose of your memo would be defeated totally. That was timely communication. So basic memo formats are number one, decide if it's to be persuasive or informative. Now you have to write in the beginning, see what is the purpose of your memo. If it is persuasive, you need to use language according to that. And if it is supposed to be informative, you need to use language and the size of a memo according to that. While many memos are a combination of the two, in order to process your claim promptly, please submit it no later than January 15. This is kind of persuasive or informative. Sometimes memos have to be one or the other for the reader to take the appropriate action. A persuasive memo engages the reader's interest before issuing a directive, whereas an informative memo outlines the facts and then requests the reader's action. Persuasive memo persuades the other person into doing something, and informative memo simply informs about facts and requests the readers for action. Clearly state the purpose of communication in the subject line. Either your subject line or the first line of the memo should tell the reader very, very clearly what you want to talk about, because they don't have time to go through the whole memo to see or to find the topic sentence or the thesis statement or the main idea. So try to be very, very clear. Most memo formats have the basics of the header like to, from, and date in place, but you have a responsibility to make the subject line as descriptive as possible so the reader understands the intent. A memo simply titled vacation time. Now look at this example. If your memo has the subject line like vacation time, This might appear to be good news until the document explains that vacation time won't be granted unless first requested in writing. Thus, a better memo title might be New Vacation Time Request Policy. So this would be a lot better than just vacation time, because this is telling us very clearly whether what the memo is about, that it is about the New Vacation Time Request Policy, that if you don't request for the vacation, it won't be granted in the future. Write memos with purpose and make that purpose known in the first paragraph. Again, almost the same thing. It's not just the subject line that needs to carry the purpose of your memo. Your first line of your paragraph of the memo, you need to tell the other person what is the purpose of your writing. KISS, keep it simple, silly. Now this is another technical thing regarding all technical communication, all technical writing or business writing, that you have to keep it simple. And then they have said the word silly to help make you understand that if you don't do it, you will appear silly, or your writing won't be getting that much of attention that you need. Most memo formats accommodate one page of information. This means that the topic details should be concise with clear directives and contexts for follow-up. If it's a complex topic extending into multiple pages, still keep the language as direct as possible and headings or bullets to guide the reader, and conclude with a summary paragraph of key points. Reinforce the reader's necessary action. At the end of the memo, specifically direct the reader to the desired action. And again, this particular concept says that you have to keep your memo very simple, direct, and easy to grasp. Number 5, effective business communication improves workflow and relationships. All business communication being short, crisp, and concise improves workflow and relationships, because if you don't waste your own time and respect the importance of the time of the other person, that is very important. Now, looking at the parts of a memo, quickly just reviewing them through, we have 3 basic parts to reasons to write a memo, and we talk about the reasons and then the parts. To persuade action, to issue a directive, or to provide a report. And we talked about the kinds of memo. They fall in the same categories. They either persuade, they issue a directive, they want the people to do something, or to provide a report. Then we have the heading section, in which we have 2 CC, from, date, and subject. CC can be omitted, or if you want to add it, it is for any people you are copying the memo to. Copying the memo to someone means that that memo would go to the person जिन्होंने उस memo के ऊपर कोई action नहीं लेना. They just have to keep it for record and documentation. So for example, your memo would be to your boss, but you can CC it to the secretary of your boss, पर्सनल सेक्रेटरी और पीए को भी आप इसमें यहाँ सीसी कर सकते हैं, अपने किसी डिपार्टमेंट के किसी और बंदे को जिससे इसकी डॉक्यूमेंटेशन के लिए ज़रूरत होगी, आप उसे सीसी कर सकते हैं. देन वी हैव फ्रॉम, डेट, एंड सब्जेक्ट, एंड मेक श्योर यू एड्रेस द रीडर बाय हिज और हर करेक्ट नेम एंड जॉब टाइटल. बी स्पेसिफिक एंड कंसाइज इन योर सब्जेक्ट लाइन. Then we have the opening segment that tells us about the circumstances, background of whatever you are going to talk about. Then it describes the action that you want to request, and finally the purpose statement of the memo gives you reason for writing it and forecasts what is in the rest of the memo. In the opening section, you need to give the reader an idea what you are going to discuss and what do you want them to do. Then there is a brief summary section. As I told you before in the previous document, you can skip the summary section if you don't need it in your memo. And that again, as it is said, called a summary section, it is supposed to be a very brief part. Discussion segment में आप वो बातें discuss करेंगे जिनके बारे में आप अपने boss को persuade करना चाहते हैं या किसी को भी persuade करना चाहते हैं. The discussion segment are the parts in which you get to include all the details that support your ideas. Then begin with the information that is most important and start with the most general information. The memo memo that we discussed regarding the demand for a microwave oven had a very clear discussion segment कि उसकी ज़रूरत क्या थी, because people went over to buying lunch from outside, they wasted time और वापस आने और जाने में बहुत टाइम लगाते थे. So what we need is कि इस solution के problem के solution के लिए हमें ऑफिस में ही एक माइक्रोवेव दे दिया जाए. क्लोजिंग सेगमेंट में ऑफ कोर्स यू सिंपली ऐड अ क्लोजिंग sentence, whether it's thanking you in anticipation or just thank you, or if it is an informal memo you simply write thanks, or in the end you can add I will be glad to discuss this recommendation with you during our Tuesday trip to the spa and follow through on any decision you make. Then you can add necessary attachments as well. Some memos also have attachments with them. For example, if you are sending an object, that object would be the attachment. If you are sending a report, you need to tell the other person in the memo that there is a report attached to the memo that they have to go through. And then in the end आप ये heading देते हैं attached और उसके साथ mention करते हैं कि आपने attach क्या किया है. In this memo, several complaints about product January to June 2007. This report has been attached. So attachment की heading, for example, जब आप ईमेल में अटैचमेंट करते हैं तो आप जब ईमेल का सब्जेक्ट देखते हैं, आपको मेल रिसीव होती है तो उसके साथ अटैचमेंट का सिंबल है, दैट इज़ दैट पेपर क्लिप जो आपको बताता है कि इसके साथ एक अटैचमेंट है. सिमिलरली आपको मेमो के नीचे एंड में लिखना होता है अटैच्ड एंड देन सेवरल कंप्लेंट्स अबाउट प्रोडक्ट जनवरी टू जून, जो भी आपकी अटैचमेंट है उसको वहाँ मेंशन करना है. Then a persuasive memo, we have this example that is written to Mary McGee, Dorothy Barry को CC किया है, बॉस को लिखा है, a need for new memo format. Now this one's interesting. I've noticed that we don't seem to be able to communicate important changes, requirements and progress reports throughout the company as effectively as we should. I propose developing one consistent memo format recognizable by all staff as the official means of communicating company directives. Now, this paragraph tells us very clearly what the memo will be about. They want to make the communication inside the company more fluent and more easy. So they want that they should follow one consistent memo format recognizable by all staff. And then second paragraph, while I know this seems like a simple solution, I believe it will cut down on needless email, improve universal communication and allow the staff to save necessary information for later referral. And in this paragraph they have given them the clear reasons of why they want everybody to follow one consistent memo format. Please talk among yourselves to determine the proper point of memo writing and return the input to me by 12 noon. I will then send out a notice to the entire staff regarding the new memo format. And they have asked these three people to sit down and gather information about one particular memo format and send it to the person who has written this memo by 12 noon so that they can then organize it and send a proper memo format to everybody. Thank you for your prompt attention to this. Then we have the directive memo. That is new memo format effective June 1. Directive क्यों है ये? Because this memo would be telling everyone that this is the memo format and you have to follow it. In order to make inter-office communication easier, please adhere to the following guidelines for writing effective memos. Clearly state the purpose of the memo in the subject line and in the first paragraph. Keep language professional, simple and polite. Now they have given these guidelines about memo writing that the three people in the previous memo had gathered together. Use short sentences, use bullets if a lot of information is conveyed, proofread before sending, address the memo to the person who will take action on the subject and CC those who need to know about the action. So attach additional information, don't place it in the body of the memo if possible. Please put this format into practice immediately. We appreciate your assistance in developing clear communications. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to call me. Thank you. So it's as simple as that. It's very formal, and the memo is sent to all staff, that is everyone inside the building or department. Now this is a technical memo, and this would be written to boss by Sue Masterson, and update on the T12 phase 3. As we enter phase 4 of the T12 testing, I want to provide a progress overview of the phase 3 testing. The body of the memo might include 4 pages outlining the purpose of the memo. Now this is a progress overview. So this is going to be a very long memo, so it can be 2 to 4 pages, and then again you need to divide it in paragraphs according to the sections that we discussed here. You need to have summary section, you need to have discussion section, and then the closing section. So those all would be used here in this particular memo, that is a technical memo. So these are just overall general divisions of memos, persuasive, then we have directive and technical. Technical में आगे से आपके मेमोज आ जाते हैं फील्ड ट्रिप रिपोर्ट्स और लैब रिपोर्ट्स वाले मेमोज जो हमने पिछले एक डॉक्यूमेंट में डिस्कस किए. सो दिस इज हाउ इट इज. दिस वाज अ काइंड ऑफ अ रिफ्रेशर फॉर यू टू रिवाइज ऑल इंफॉर्मेशन अबाउट मेमोज दैट वी डिस्कस्ड टिल नाउ, एंड I hope this lecture helped you a lot in understanding what memo writing is. Now to recap what we did in lecture number 23, we talked about what is a memo, and then we discussed kinds of memos, all 4-5 different kinds and some general divisions of them, and how to write an effective memo. We discussed 2 very important documents in which we talked about the heading sections, then the summary section, the body of the memo, and then the important parts inside the body of the memo that you can divide your memo into, that is the action that you want the other person to take, recommendations, findings, and problem and solution if you have any problem that you are discussing in the memo. And then we also talked about some example memos. We did an exercise in which we arranged a memo, parts of a memo, into logical order, and that helped you a lot regarding what is the proper order or format of a memo. So this brings us to the end of lecture number 23. I hope you have a very solid knowledge of what memo writing is. Memo is basically internal short correspondence that you will come across when you become professionals, when you start working in offices, and that is the official communication where you'll see different kinds of memos in front of you as a practical example. So let's end here, and we'll see you for the next lecture. Thank you.